very much, everyone joining us. We really appreciate your time on the African Portal Radio TV International. It's going to be a great conversation as we are going to be connecting with one of our very own all the way from Nigeria. Dr. T-Mac is live and direct on the African Portal Radio. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to put him in the studio, but he's going to be connecting via phone call because of the network constraint on his side and because of the kind of the system he's using. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to have you on this broadcast this hour. Everyone joining us, I really appreciate you. You can see Dr. T is already live and direct in our studio here in Victoria, South Africa, and it's going to be a great conversation ahead, the African Day tomorrow. Dr. T, kindly go ahead and greet the listeners at home. Let them know that you are live and direct on the African Portal Radio TV.
Hello, everybody. My name is T-Mac. I play the flute, I sing, I compose, especially big orchestrations. I live at the moment in Lagos. I have a residence in Switzerland. I am half Swiss, half Nigerian, and it's a pleasure being here with you today.
All right. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate you and I celebrate you. Thank you for coming out to be part of this conversation this hour. A lot of people are waiting for it. Actually, people believe that you're going to be in the studio live and direct. But unfortunately, because of the gadgets that you are using and because of the constraint of how to connect, I don't want to stress you about it. So I said, let's use this. It's better than nothing. So to everyone, we sincerely apologize that we will not be able to connect with him live and direct in the studio, but we are using a phone call connection. And you, as you can see, Dr. T is live and direct on the African Portal. Dr. T, before we get to the business of the day, half Nigeria, half Switzerland. African Day is tomorrow. What does it mean to you? And what is your message to the world?
Well, I am an African. I was born in Nigeria, Lagos specifically, and my mother was a Itsekiri princess from the Niger Delta. My father was a Swiss ambassador. I returned after my education back to Africa. I have spent most of my life in Africa. Of course, I spent a lot of time touring the world with my different bands. But I am based here. I'm happy in Lagos. I have a wonderful band, a 13-piece band. I do play big concert tours. I'm not actually a nightclub musician. So Africa to me means the motherland, the cradle of civilization. That's where it all started. And when I studied music, I learned that music originates from the school of Luxor, Egypt, which was Black Africa. They discovered the 8 full notes, the 12 half notes. But when the Greeks came, when Aristotle came to Egypt and stole all the information, no, that was actually Alexander the Great of Macedonia invaded Luxor. So they took all the knowledge of music to Greece and gave it names like tetrachord, octava, etc. But it was discovered in Africa and is property of Africa. We should ask the whole world to pay royalty for using our invention.
Wow, wow, wow. I love that. And I thank you that you actually start this conversation with that, because this is one of the conversations that I think we need to be having at this time. Africa is a continent that everything began from here. The entertainment, music, mention them, technology, everything. The first university.
Civilization started in Africa.
Exactly.
That's where the external people came and met some low-level entities and start genetically to manipulate us into intelligent beings. It happened in Africa.
All right. Thank you very much, because a lot of people are connecting to this program that they are so happy about what you are saying right now. The first university is from here in Africa. The biggest hospital is from here in Africa. Talk about many, many things that have happened in Africa. All right. I love what you said, that Africa means motherlands to you. Let's look at the life in Africa. You are born here, you grow up here. Look at the how many times Africa have been invaded, how many things have been taken out of Africa. Our artwork taken out of Africa to England, to Europe, to many countries of the world. Let's talk about our civilization currently now. Why are we behind? Upon all these things you mentioned, why we are still behind in technology, in other things?
Let me add something first about our culture and civilization. About 15 years ago, I invited my friend Marlon Jackson, the elder brother of Michael Jackson, to Lagos. My management company, Philadelphia Philly Sound, managed the Temptation, OJ, Patti LaBelle, etc., and the Jacksons, and my band Silver Convention. So I knew the Jacksons since 1974. So when Marlon came, I said, you have to come with me to Badagry. Badagry is on the outskirts of Lagos, and I introduced him to Oba Akran, the king, who welcomed him well, and then we went to the slave museum. When he saw all those chains in glass cages, he said, oh, can I wear one of those chains? The curator said, oh, well, normally people cannot touch it. But he took a chain out, put it on Marlon's hand, leg, neck, and Marlon started to cry. He walked a few meters with these heavy chains and said, so that was what our forefathers had experienced. He said, T-Mac, we have to bring all the African Americans from the Caribbean and from the United States back to Africa to see this. So we formed a company called the Motherland Group. I appealed to the Lagos State government. Could we have a concession on the point of no return up to the island where the big ships were taking the slaves on board? The governor said, well, there are a couple of companies and groups trying to get that concession for tourism. I said, well, let's say money talks, bullshit walks. Let's bring all those interested parties into the state assembly and let us present checks and ideas. So 2 weeks later, we all met. One guy was saying, oh, I have my Cabana Tropicana, I'll raise some money, I'll put some huts on those lands so people can sleep. I just looked at them. I put out a bank certified draft for $1.2 billion from Standard Chartered. It was not my money, it was money I raised. I said, here, we're going to invest in a 5-star hotel, we're going to build a new museum, we're going to build an amusement park kind of thing, because when people come to Africa, they want to have a good time, and I want a contract. So the condition in contract was that from Lagos to Badagry, there was a 12-lane road ready to be built. And till today, they haven't completed it. Anyway, the project is still on, and we want to let people come to Nigeria, experience this. I went with Marlon Jackson to Calabar. We went to look at slave facilities, old castles where the slaves were kept. So we have a project. Let's bring the world back to Africa. Come and see what your forefathers went through. Wow. Because taking us into slavery somehow took away our power to fight. This white people came with guns, but we still won them in many battles in South Africa, in Benin Republic. But the colonial people, they knew what they were doing. They wanted to come and rip us off. They wanted to suck us dry. And while we are still a little bit backward in technology, they are not interested for us to get developed. They are interested to suck our money out, take our minerals out, take our gold, diamonds, whatever they can, our crude oil. Without Africa, France will be bankrupt because the foreign reserves of the Francophone countries are in France. The UK, what do you think when I saw the coronation of King Charles? That gold chariot, all those palaces, was all sucked out of India and Africa. Without us, it would be a backward society. But now Africa, especially Nigeria, is developing. I bring in friends and they come and look at what they see in Nigeria and they say, wow, they don't tell us that in America. They tell us it's a backward place with snakes and crocodiles and people having bush huts. The world doesn't want to know how developed we are. They're more interested to say, oh, these poor people, let's give them some foreign aid and our politicians will steal the money and share it. So the foreign aid, which we don't actually need, is not foreign aid. It is a loan we pay back for the next 100 years. It's all corrupt. All the Baron, the Rothschild, the big bankers, the big money, without us, they wouldn't be where they are. 1% in America owns 60% of the wealth. And most of it came from slavery. Most of it came and is still coming from Africa. I am very angry about it. Because Africa is where it is happening in everything. Music now, we are storming the world. Yesterday at a big event, I went to Jack Ritz's wife's birthday party. The whole of the Nollywood stars, everybody was there. And I just looked at them and said, well, Nigeria is actually the leading filmmaker at the moment, if the world likes it or not. In music, we are storming the world. In the 70s, when I was the lead of Silver Convention, we were the #1 disco band. That was a time when I was doing very commercial music. So nobody should talk down on Africa. We are still the #1 continent in the world.
All right. I really appreciate the way you come in, and I like the way you spell it the way it is. Before we get into this business, let me just give you an idea of what is coming on this business. For those of you that you are connecting with us, we're going to be having a very beautiful conversation about your lifestyle, and we're going to be talking about the progress that we express in Africa. So let us quickly look at what happened 2 days ago in Nigeria. Aliko Dangote opened his own refinery. That is a milestone achievement for Africa and for Nigeria. You are part of the people that believe in this continent, Africa. You believe in Nigeria. You believe that Africa can do better. What is your view about this? And do you by any chance involved in that opening ceremony?
I am the country manager, shareholder, and director in Petronor. Petronor is an oil company between Abu Dhabi, Petromal, and Norway. I didn't go to the ceremony because actually I wasn't invited. But I didn't ask and hustle. I know Aliko Dangote 1977. When I came home from Festa, he was selling rice, sugar, etc. I had a trading company. We're on the same level. You see, I mean, it is an achievement, that binary. But I don't want to go into the detail how it was financed and how it's going to be managed. Yes, let us produce our own petrol so that hopefully we don't need to import again, and that taxation subsidy scam can once and for all stop. Because our politicians use that subsidy scam to make billions. Hopefully that will stop. To me, the refinery, it's an achievement, but it is not what I judge Nigeria on. I judge Nigeria on the millions of hard-working people who get up at 5 in the morning to go through terrible traffic to the working place. And then they return back home 10 and 11 at night, worn out, to sleep a few hours and continue that same life. I am sorry for them, because that is not a pleasant life. And that life was enforced onto them by politicians who are very selfish. That is the problem with Africa. We have a couple of good politicians, but unfortunately we are still used by greedy people who in their own selfish way suck us dry. And I just pray that all over Africa, the youth and the intelligent people stand up and say, enough is enough. We have intelligent, healthy people. We have the natural resources. Let's bring our continent to the #1 position. Because I grew up in Switzerland where I studied. And they have no natural resources. They make the money in banking, chocolate, of cocoa, which comes from Africa. They make the money, watches, the metal comes from Africa. So if we can get organized, we'll be the #1, because we have everything here which is needed to be #1.
All right. Thank you very much for your side there. I really appreciate that. Let me take you to the flute now. Let me take you to one of the great things that is making you trending all over the world. People are talking about it, and this will take you to many, many parts of the world. But before that, let's quickly watch this video. I'm coming back. Just hold on there. Don't change the dial. We are here live and direct on the African Portal Radio. Watch this. I'm coming back. Just this little I want to show you, but I'm still coming back to show you more. Sir, I'm so excited because this flute is one of the great things that make you unique, and a lot of people are talking about it, and you have do this all over Africa, all over the world. Let's talk about it. How do you come across this? Tell us a bit about the journey and why you choose this flute and it become part of your life.
Well, I left at the age of 3 to Switzerland. As I mentioned, my father was the Swiss ambassador for West Africa, who married the Itsekiri princess. My father was assassinated when I was 3 years old. So my mother said I should go to Switzerland with my 2 sisters because my father came from a very wealthy Swiss family where I had the best education money could buy. My uncle was a great industrialist. Took me when I was about 6 years old to the Zurich Opera, and I heard that Philharmonic Orchestra. I felt like I was in heaven. I listened to them, and then that flute came up, and something in me said, I have played that flute. I have played the flute in a previous life. So I told my uncle, I want to study the flute. He He said, but you're too young. So I had to wait till I was 7. And for Christmas, I got my first flute. I was so excited. I used to put it under my pillow, the flute case. And when I had my flute lessons, my teacher, first it was a lady, she was amazed how quick I learned that instrument. I went to the music academy. Then my family said, but you have to study something serious, for music doesn't work out. So I had to study economics, and I studied music at the same time. At the age of 22, I had my degrees. I came back to Nigeria to form my first band, an Afro collection. It was kind of Afro jazz fusion. And we toured Nigeria. It was a success. I had the best musicians in Nigeria with me. Then a famous drummer called Ginger Baker, who actually died in South Africa. He was the drummer of a band called Cream with Eric Clapton and Jack Bruce. He came, drummed with me. I had a nice nightclub owned by somebody, and signed my whole band on behind my back to form Ginger Baker and Soul. I was devastated. One day, I had no band. That was in 1972. I said, that's a sign by God. I went back to Switzerland, took up a job in a bank, UBS, part-time, and formed the band which became Silver Convention. A producer called Kunze, who worked with Polydor International, heard my band, and he said, T-Mac, you have great music. Let's do something Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Let's write some nice elevator music. You have a degree in philharmonic composition. You write the strings. So we formed those songs for Silver Convention, named after my silver flute, like Fly, Robin, Fly, Fly, Robin, Fly, Fly, Robin, Fly, up to the sky, or Get Up and Boogie. Good, I was performing with my band in Holland. 3 months later, he called me, T-Mac, you're #1 in the American hit parade. I said, what? I thought it was my other production, very sophisticated. Said, no, what we call elevator music and continental funk is being called in America disco music.
Wow.
Fly Robin Fly sold 12 million copies and got the Grammy. And then it became just like crazy. For 2 years, we toured the whole world, with everywhere. And in 1977, I decided to come back to Nigeria for Festac 77 because I was tired of playing the same songs, and I didn't want to do elevator disco music my whole life. But I came home as a very rich man because we made tons of money. So I invested into nightclubs, into other kind of things. And I've been touring since then. Every occasion I have. I had another hit in the 80s, The Sound of the Universe. You can find it on YouTube. I had a couple of hits, but now I sit at home in my own studio, create music. I came out in the 84 to 87, had a contract with Universal to write film music. So I live a fulfilled life, creating good music, having great friends, and enjoy my life.
Wow, wow. I'm so excited about this. You know, one thing about your music and the way you portray your things is that it's very unique and it stands out. But let's look at the between the 1977 to now. How many albums have you made? How many albums you released, and which one is trending up to now?
I can't remember how many.
You lost the counting.
I did a couple of classical albums. I'm constantly producing. My latest album, which you can also see on Spotify and everywhere, or on my website, www.tmaciseli, ISELI.com, is called Just Like a Dream. I think it's my best album. It has 15 tracks. I use on 4 tracks philharmonic coloring, but it's Afrobeat, Afro jazz. I do the singing. I have singers with me. It is my band which still plays with me. I reformed in 2000 for the President Gala night when he came to Nigeria. and some of those musicians have been up 22 years. So I had, look, I don't remember, I had Night Illusion, I had, what are my albums? Party Fever, yeah, The Sound of the Universe, etc. You can find, if you Google my name, T-Mac, you can see my albums.
I know. I said that, and one of the things that people talking about you is the collaboration and the kind of support that you give to the especially the reggaes and to other country music in Africa and in Nigeria. Let's talk about what is keeping you going and making you relevant up to now. You have over almost 5 decades now in music industry in Africa and in globally. What is keeping you going? And I mean, what makes you still continue doing what you've been doing for over, I mean, almost 5 decades now?
Well, it's my love for good music. I have produced many artists. I co-produced about 6-7 of Fella's album. I produced San Sheun. I produced Christian Essien, Onyeka Obenu. I produced Martha Lerdo, Kyoa Makre. And my aim was always to use my ears and my experience to create good music. I know there's a trend of commercial music. We call it either night crash or skeleton, which is just simple lyrics, auto-tune on the voice, the same beat. I'm not into that level. That comes and goes. Every week, 10,000 of those songs come out. 1 or 2 stick at the best, goes down into obligation. No. I have good music. On June the 2nd, I will be at Alliance Française Concert having a festival sponsored by the United States Embassy, where I have 2 jazz bands. My band is the main item with Yinka Davis, and will give 3 hours of perfect music. It's on VIP only, and it will be live streamed, live recorded, etc. So what keeps me going is the love for music. I'm classical trained. I'm part of the founders of SON, the Classical Music Society of Nigeria, which I founded with Sir Melvin Brown, the British High Commissioner, Akintola Williams, and myself. And we are training about 100, 120 professionals every year. Then I do tours. I speak in most of the universities in Nigeria. 1 or 2 days, I lecture philharmonic composition and the beauty of good music. I was a lecturer in the Bradley University in Washington State for a couple of years during summer. And I'm trying to tell the young people, listen, close your eyes, feel the benefit of good music coming into you. Even if you don't like or not use classical music, if you sit quietly and listen to some Mozart or some Bach, that is God speaking through those composers to us. That is the sound of the universe. And if you understand that sound, you will appreciate everything in life. It has a healing effect. It has an effect to increase your spirituality and your success in life. But if you listen just to trash, you have no positive effect, because trash will give you a negative effect in your life. So I'm saying to all the young people listening, it's good to go to a disco and enjoy music, but from time to time, listen to a Coltrane or a Herbie Hancock. Listen to a beautiful guitar, either by George Benson or some classical guitar, and define in your brain, when your brain tells you that is beautiful, means it has a healing effect on you.
All right. Wow. I like that. And thank you very much for going to that aspect, especially to speak to the youth. Let's look at you have a program about, I think, a month ago that some youth graduated from your institution. Let's talk about it, because a lot of people want to be part of it. How can the people get connected to this? And what are the process that the youth needs to go through to be part of this great project?
You mean, are you talking about the Buson or what? I don't actually know what you're talking
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, anybody can Google the name Muson, M-U-S-O-N. It's Nigeria's prime music academy, which uses the London School of Music curriculum. You can either do it going to the lecture, or you can do it on the internet. But there's something beautiful that you should realize. With this internet system, you can Google anything. If you decide I want to be a good singer, there are tutorials you can Google. It will teach you to pronounce well, like you have to do like e, I, O, U, E, I, O, U. Or you learn how to sing it la 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 la. So you have to learn. You can train yourself, because without training, your voice will never have a tone. You're gonna use auto-tune forever, which is a guitar effect, because your voice doesn't have the tone. You have to work for it. There's no shortcut. You want a good voice, you have to sing 2-3 hours a day. You want to be a guitarist, a flute player, sax player, get somebody to teach you the bass, and then you have to pay up your karma with countless hours of rehearsal. A master doesn't come from heaven. It is worked for. There are some young people who are talented. They are reincarnation of a pianist before, but they're very rare. Anybody can become good if you have the willpower to work for it.
Wow, wow, that is a million bucks advice there. Okay, let's quickly look at the language now. I mean, how do you cope? Been in Nigeria for a very long time. I mean, which of the language you speak very well? I mean, among all the languages and the dialects in Nigeria.
Well, my mother was Itsekiri, so I speak a little bit Itsekiri. I hear a little Yoruba, but because I left at the age of 3 till 22 in Switzerland, I had to speak Swiss German, and in school German, French, Italian. Let me give an example. If I say in German, I walk down this street. Ich gehe diese Straße hinunter. In Swiss, it's ich gehe den Weg runter. Complete different language. My favorite language, c'est français. Je parle français parce que j'ai fait mes études à Lausanne et à Paris. Et moi, j'aime bien la langue française pour chanter. Io parlare un po' di italiano, ma I fa troppo di errori grammaticali. Now speak a little bit Italian. When you grow up in Switzerland, you become a multilinguist. And I'm very happy. Wherever I go, I can turn to Italian, French, German. English was actually an additional language when I grew up, because English is not compulsory in Switzerland. But because of my family, I took it in school. When I came back home, I, of course, became fluent in it. I was never relaxed because I didn't grow up in the English language. But I believe that anybody should learn the language of his forefather as addition to the international language of either French or English.
All right. Among African culture, which one do you enjoy? Is it the dressing? Is it the food? And if it's the food, which of African food you enjoy eating?
Well, my mother used to cook, and my cooking, my husband, an excellent cook, cooked banga soup, which is punt kernel with fresh fish. I don't eat red meat. I stopped eating red meat when I was 21 years old, and I've never touched it. And that's why I have been able to stop my aging process. Red meat is not good for you. If you want to eat meat, eat white meat, especially fish and chicken, but a lot of vegetables. And that's why COVID did not kill many people in Africa, because we eat healthy food. We don't eat coming out of a deep freezer or hamburger, rubbish, junk food. If you eat healthy, fresh cooked food with a lot of vegetables, you eat one of servings of fruits a day, you live nearly forever, because I believe aging is a mistake. There are things you're doing wrong that suddenly your hair goes white, you face gets wrinkled, you walk with stick. That means you're not maintaining your body correctly. Over partying, over enjoyment, not sleeping enough, not exercising will make you old. I love all kinds of African food. I love also Thai food. I have years I used to go to Thailand for my concerts in China. I love Chinese food. I actually like any food which is good. Italian food, French food. I just don't take the red meat because I know it is not good food.
Wow, wow, wow. I love that. So you hit, I mean, you hit banga, you love that, and also hapu, I mean, rice, jollof rice, and stuff like that. So all that is one of the favorite food you eat in Africa.
That's correct.
All right.
And more and more African food has become the in thing in the UK, in America, in Sweden, in Switzerland. Everywhere there are African restaurants. In Dubai, some of the best restaurants are African restaurants because they have discovered that we have the knowledge of health because you are what you eat. If you eat healthy, fresh cooked food, you'll be healthy and fresh. If you go to a McDonald's and eat one burger, or you know those fries, actually they're dangerous for you, those French fries. They're dangerous because they come from one potato to be long. They have to take one potato, which is grown specially, bad chemicals. The Americans have taught us how to die through.
Indeed, indeed. All right. Tomorrow is African Day, and you are the one we are putting on the spotlight to open this great celebration. It's unfortunate that I was unable to connect you to the studio, but we are just using a phone to connect with you. I believe that we are coming back, and it's part of the question that I have in mind to ask you: that what is the formula that you are using that is making you look younger? I mean, you are not aging at all. So you already let us know now that red meat is not good for us. Exercise, eat green food, eat Africa is one of the things that is making you look younger. All right. Are you planning to probably go back to Switzerland at the maybe, let's say maybe in the future, or you want to be here for the rest of your life, and when you pass to glory, you want to live in Africa? Are you planning that?
Well, I had maintained my whole life a residence in Switzerland. I go there once or twice a year, but Nigeria, Africa is my home. Of course, I will live out my life here with my children, my grandchildren. I just go there occasionally. I don't like the winter in Switzerland. When I'm in Zurich for 2 weeks, I get bored. I start to the hustle and bustle of Lagos. So this is my home, and this is where I will grow old, and one day I'll be buried here.
Wow, wow. I like something you say when we come into this program. That is talking about the life people are living now in Lagos. People leave their house 4 a.m. in the morning, coming back 11 p.m. because they're sitting in this traffic for many, many hours. How do you cope with this?
Very simple. I have an office in Ikoyi, and I hardly go there. There is Zoom existing at the moment. I have my light ring here. My phone. When I'm in my house, I'm on my laptop. We do Zoom meetings with Norway, Abu Dhabi. My Norwegians were here last week. I stayed with them at the Federal Palace Hotel, so I could avoid that traffic. I live on the mainland. I avoid the traffic wherever I can. I tell people, can we make a Zoom meeting or WhatsApp meeting? But if I have to, then I leave. It takes me maybe 2 hours to get to the island. And then I try to leave before the traffic starts. Please, I'm home at 5. I will not go in those 5-6 hour traffic jam because it makes me angry. Even I can work on my phone in the car. I don't enjoy it. I don't drive. My driver drives. I'm secure. But I think it is bad for your nerves, and stress adds to your aging process. Stay out of stress. Sometimes when I'm angry with the traffic, I just meditate. I meditate, I chant, and my nerves cool down, and it doesn't affect me. I feel sorry for all those who have to suffer that traffic every day because they are reducing their lifespan.
Because they are reducing their lifespan. I mean, that's a very big one, and I'm still going to bring you back because this is one of the conversations that I think we need to be having to enlighten people about the danger that is in this sitting in the traffic for 5 hours, 4 hours. Imagine traveling from Lagos to Ibadan and you are spending almost 7 hours in the traffic. That is uncalled for. So we're still going to talk about it and enlighten people about it, sir. Because of the time constraint and because you are very busy, I will call it a day here, but I believe that I'm still going to bring you back with well prepared and getting the gadgets that we need to host you live and direct in the studio. All right, before I let you go, I just want you to give the Africa a golden advice, and to everyone in Nigeria a golden advice, and we call it a day. If you have your flute, you can please blow it as well to say goodbye to people, and you can, if you don't have it, it's fine. You can say goodbye to them in your language.
You should have told me. My flute is not in my hand. It's not with me. So
it's okay. It's okay. No problem. This is just an introduction. You are still coming back full force to this program. Okay. All right. But one thing you're gonna do for me when you are saying goodbye, you're going to say goodbye to everybody in Itsekiri.
Well, do arani odejuma. Odejuma means good night, good evening. But my little advice to all you wonderful people who have been listening to me: take it easy with your life. Positive mind is the secret to success. Tell yourself daily, those who are in music, those who are in business, those who are in sport, say to yourself, self-affirmation, that I am successful, I'm healthy, I'm good looking, etc. When you confirm to yourself and you have a positive mind, you move the universe and the energies will come into you for that self-affirmation. You wake up in the morning and say, oh, I don't have money to. Oh, I'm going to go to a hard day. Oh, my boss is going to deal with it. That negative mentality will spoil the day for you. Just always try to be in a good mood. When I walk my 8 dogs in the morning, I chant, I sing, I walk in the street with my 2 dog handlers, and I smile. When you walk and you smile, it will do something special. But let me also tell you something about those who are in the traffic 5 hours, or those who sit in their office for 7, 8 hours. Stand up every hour. I even stand up in the airplane and do certain exercise. I jog a little bit on the spot. I do knee bends. You must move. You cannot sit there, because it is worse than Coca-Cola or hamburger. You constantly sit on a chair. You sit in a car. Wherever you go, you sit. It's not good for your system. Exercise, move. You can just on your chair, while I'm sitting here, I can move. I can do some pressing for my chest. I can take my feet and stamp on the floor. You can do that in a bus. Just quietly stamp on the floor. Move your shoulders. Don't let your body just sit there like a sardine in a box. I wish you all the best. Long life, prosperity. God bless you all. My name is Omatshola ISELI.
Thank you very much for the pleasure of your time. I really appreciate it. And to everyone joining us, celebrate this great icon, and let's give him a round of applause for the well done job. I'm bringing him back very soon. We're going to arrange that. But thank you for coming out to be part of this conversation. This is the African Portal Radio TV International, where we promote African culture and African ideology. And tomorrow is African Day, and we are hoping it with this great African icon. I celebrate you. Thank you very, very much for the pleasure of your time once again. I will see you again soon. God bless you. Keep shining, keep smiling, keep doing the great work that you are doing. Love from the African Portal. Thank you very much. Goodbye from here.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for the pleasure of your time, for connecting with us. We are live and direct in the studio with one of our very own in the studio, that we are having this conversation together, and it's been a very smooth conversation. And to everyone that wants to listen to more of this, go to our website www.theafricanportal.co.uk. Go to our Facebook and our YouTube. Let's enjoy some of this music as we are signing out from here, and see you again Tomorrow, as we are going to be hosting one of our very own, Ludare will be on the African portal, and at the same time, we'll be celebrating one of our very own, Adebowale, Honorable Adebowale Adeshino. Tomorrow is his birthday. We'll be celebrating his birthday, an African Day tomorrow, live and direct. Also, I will be celebrating one of our very own as well. That is celebrating a birthday tomorrow as well. Leila Morris, tomorrow is your birthday. We're going to be celebrating it in style. Also, we're going to be celebrating one of our very own as well. One of the friend of this house, Benga Olukosi, as well. Tomorrow is your birthday, and on Friday is also my wife's birthday. Please join me to celebrate my wife. We'll be celebrating her on Friday 26th as well. So to everyone joining us, I really appreciate it. Happy African Day to all the Africa and to everyone joining us. Thank you very much. Watch out for this. Tomorrow is going to be a great time with Ludare Olateju on the African Portal Radio TV in style. And at the same time, we will be hosting one of our very own Honorable Adebowale Adeshino, that is Alamin, on the African Portal Radio TV International. But to everyone joining this broadcast this hour, thank you for the pleasure of your time. I really appreciate it. I will see you on top of the hour for another program coming up with one of our very own. Auntie Donald will be live and direct on the African Portal Radio. See you then. God bless you. See you soon. Bye for now from the African Portal Radio TV. Enjoy this as we are signing out from here. Enjoy it, share it, let it go viral. Thanks to our guests in the studio. God bless you. Bye.